I wouldn't call it a business. For me, it's a way to ensure that millions of people can have access to quality healthcare. It's okay, it's simply low-cost micro health insurance, which aims to enable millions of people to have access to quality healthcare with or without cash. We started in 2019, and 7th of October this year will make us 3 years. And we started Social Care because we understand that Nigeria faces two very huge catastrophic problems. One is access to healthcare, since less than 5% of the entire population have insurance. It means more people will have to pay out of pocket to finance their healthcare needs. Think about the woman that hawks sachet water every day, or the woman that roasts corn by the roadside, or the vulcanizer that have to fix a car tire. How will these people finance their healthcare need like appendectomy if they have it in the hospital? So this is where we've seen most of people being moved into poverty because they don't have money to finance their medical needs. So we see high cases of self-medication. People have to go to local drugstores to buy drugs. One day I was traveling to Geneva for a training. I found two children picking plastics by the roadside. Out of curiosity, I asked them what they were doing with those plastics. They told me they were picking it for their mom, who in exchange give it to traditional herb stores, who give them some herbs and they buy drugs. So working in telemedicine solution, one of the things I learned was I was trying to bridge the gap in healthcare for low-income people to contact a doctor online. But I forgot that millions of people don't even have smartphones, and internet was a huge problem. So that was when I started looking at plastics. Plastics litter the environment. Nigeria generates over 20 billion plastic bottles. Less than 5% of these are collected and recycled. Nigeria as a country is 200 million people. Less than 5% of us have insurance. These both problems are huge and catastrophic. That was when I thought of how can we use one problem that is there to solve the other problem? How can we finance healthcare using plastics, which I call a green currency? So that was when we came up with Social Care. We did a pilot in 2019. We had, within 6 weeks, we have 90 women giving us plastics to finance their healthcare. So we've been doing this, and currently we have partnership with government of Rivers State, where we recently launched operation to ensure that we can be able to reach more families and lives. And recently we are launching a malaria cover in partnership with AXA Insurance. That way it will require only 2 kilograms of plastics to ensure that people can have access to quality healthcare like malaria from pharmacy. I don't think anyone deserves to die by a simple case of malaria, and this is why we built Social Care as an affordable health insurance that can allow people to have access to quality healthcare with or without cash. We have what we call a model we call pay as you like. You can pay cash or you can pay with trash. So those trash, we call them trash, but they are not really trash. They are recyclables. It could be plastic pet pot water. It could be sachet water we consume. It could be carton. It could just be about anything. When we collect these things, these things can actually be recycled. So because they can be recycled, we sell them. We make money from them to keep the environment clean. So that's why we call them green. So we make this for currencies, or this make money from this thing, sell this from this proceeds of this thing that we've sold, use the proceeds to finance healthcare. That way you are helping to solve two problems of the environment and also the health. So for us, it's a green currency. Look at plastic in one way. When you drink plastics, you trash it. It goes into a drainage system to affect the flow of water. And because plastics are on the water side, you see that sometimes they turn to breeding ground for mosquito, a strong vector for malaria that affects a significant amount of people, pushing them back into financing their healthcare, pushing them back into poverty. So green currency for us is another way of financing healthcare to build trust around the insurance, what people think is basically a lawsuit. It was a very small business. Within a short space of time, we started it. We had like 500 users there. So we had, that was when we got into World Bank. World Bank took interest in us and recognized our work. We started working with UN aids. We started working with global institutions. And I got into World Innovation Summit on held by Qatar Foundation. I was part of the innovation that we are selected, actually the only innovation from Africa. And one of the interesting things was I had to go through rigorous training as well as other innovations. But we had a couple of weeks to go down. We had no capital. Business was going down. We had no team. We had to lay some of our team off. And I had a few months to be in business. So until one day I got a mail from Qatar Foundation that provided us early grants that allowed us to bounce back into business. And since that time till now, we've been able to receive significant support from different government of Bangladesh that provided us some grants. We are discussing with government of Philippines. We've received some funding support from Switzerland, from UK Aid, and so many organizations. And we are hoping to raise funding to expand our work, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa, where there is urgent need for healthcare financing and environmental interventions as well. I think for me, I see where we come from as fast developing. We will get there. And the thing is that when you are ahead of people, you think ahead, and they don't even look at their own reality. My reality is not. It's important that we look at cancer, but we have to look at those things that are really endemic within us, like malaria, that claims over 80,000 people's lives every year. So I think for us is to look at simple solutions that solve simple problems in Africa, where we can't even talk of economic growth and development in Africa without talking about how to improve our healthcare system. It's very important. You cannot talk about financial systems without talking about healthcare. If you know the economic problem malaria creates alone in Nigeria, it costs Nigeria over $1.3 billion every year on just malaria, because people have to stay out of work, which affects productivity. So I think for us, we have to look at creative ways of solving smaller problems. Like if we can only tackle malaria in Nigeria, I'm sure that we would have led tremendous growth in terms of impact and economic growth as well. Our ambition simply is to ensure that more people can have access to quality healthcare, irrespective of socioeconomic condition, which is our mission. We believe that no woman deserves to die because she doesn't have money to access quality healthcare during pregnancy. And we are looking to bring millions of people into the fold of healthcare with cash or without cash, which is what we do at SosoCare. We've received calls from countries like Kenya, like other countries in Africa. Companies are asking us to come to their country to replicate, which is currently what we are discussing with the government of Philippines through the embassy in Nigeria. So what we want to do is bring SosoCare to countries, not just in Nigeria or Africa, but countries including in Asia, where there is urgent need for healthcare intervention and environmental sustainability. Our long-term goal is to be able to reach 100 million people in a very short space of time.